Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for tuning in. This is Burdell Lambert Rice with the wonderful Julie Myer, and we are here to talk about a subject that we do not often discuss because it's uncomfortable, and that's insurance, and in particular, talking about things like possibly life insurance. So, welcome, Julie Myer. Very nice to have you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So I wanted to kind of jump right in and talk a little bit more about why do you feel it's important for people to have life insurance?
It's important to have life insurance because you love your family. Life insurance can be thought of as kind of a final love letter to your family. Life is unexpected and it's important to plan for the unknown. So you need to think about what you want your legacy to be. Would you like your family to be left with the financial means to maintain their current standard of living? Think about it. You're the ATM machine in the house, and what happens if that source of funds are turned off? So maybe your spouse only worked part-time to give time to raising the kids, and now they've got to live within that new reduced budget. The family might have to move. The kids might have to change schools, and now there's no money for sports or dance or science camp. And that really can affect the development of the kids. Take it a step further. Maybe your spouse needs to get a second job to make ends meet. And now the kids have essentially lost a second parent as well to a job.
Mm.
Wouldn't you want to give your family the gift of security, not to suddenly worry about where all the money's going to come from? I mean, think about how that would lighten their load while they're grieving.
That's actually so true. And I feel many individuals do not think about that because we always think it happens to other people. It does not happen to us. So
That's right.
in light of this time, especially the current time, the unprecedented times we're living in, now is the time to have the conversation more than ever because we just don't know. We don't know going through this pandemic. So, talk to me a little bit about some of the requirements. For example, I think some people, because they just don't know if they could even afford it, what are some of the requirements they should consider when they're looking at purchasing life insurance?
Well, the biggest requirement is that you need to be generally healthy in order to qualify for life insurance. Certain chronic illnesses can disqualify you from coverage. So the younger and healthier you are, the lower your premiums are going to be.
Mhm.
But there are solutions for most clients, no matter what their age.
Okay.
So that's probably the biggest consideration.
I think that's good to hear and understand because I feel some people think one size fits all. They think of life insurance as making a decision for the rest of their life, not understanding the impact and also flexibility, the different options that are available. So,
Yes, life insurance is extremely flexible. You're not expected to make one decision that's going to last for the rest of your life. Every year with New York Life, we check in with our clients every 6 months or so to see how their lives have changed. Maybe they've
mhm,
changed a job or had a new child,
mhm,
or maybe they're making a big career shift. And when we talk to families and clients, we can make shifts in their policies or their strategies to help them achieve what their new goals are going to be.
mhm. I'm glad you mentioned that because, like I said, many individuals, including myself, when I looked at life insurance, I think the hesitation was always, am I prepared to make that one decision? That one decision, that's it, one chance to make that decision. So it's
And
great to
that's not the case.
absolutely. So that debunks that idea, what many of us probably feel. So, what are some things that one should consider when choosing a policy? So they're in pretty good health, all is well, but like you said, they just want to be prepared for their loved ones. What sort of things they should consider?
Well, when you're considering choosing a policy and then purchasing a policy, It's important to note that policies are as individual as the person that's buying them. It's important that you find the right amount of coverage, not too much, not too little. So we work with you to find just the right middle ground. Another thing to think about is what you're trying to accomplish with the policy. Is it something simple like mortgage protection? Is it something a little more complex like retirement planning or planning for an untimely death in your family or long-term
Mm,
care insurance? It's important to know that the life insurance can be for when you live, not just for when you die. There are living benefits and cash accumulation associated with whole life insurance policies that can be accessed separate from the death benefit.
okay.
So it really depends on what you're trying to accomplish. And the conversation that you would have with your agent can help you zero in on those things to make sure that you've got just the right amount of coverage for just what you need.
I appreciate that. And that is so important because, again, I think people think of the historical mindset of what life insurance was like. They had column A, B, and C. That was it that you had to choose from.
That's the way it used to be.
And today it's great to hear that it is customizable because each of us have different needs and maybe are at different places in our life, so the requirements that we're looking for, like you said, whether it's just to cover the mortgage, to have that security to lessen the burden, if you will, for the loved ones that's behind, it makes such a difference. So
It absolutely does. And you can think of an example of a young family that has just purchased their house. They've got a $350,000 mortgage. They can use term life insurance to protect that mortgage in the event that something should happen
mhm,
to the policyholder.
mm,
But there's usually only a 2% chance of someone dying while they're under contract for a term policy. So maybe 5 years in, we take a look at how their mortgage is going, what they've paid it down to, and maybe we move them into a more permanent life insurance product that they can use for retirement planning. So
mm.
there are ways that we can shift and pivot throughout the entire life cycle of a client.
I think that's wonderful to hear. So many of us don't think about the fact that you have that option. And I love the word pivot, that we know right now what we thought was normal could change tomorrow. It can change in 6 months or a year. So the
Yeah.
fact that as a company, I think that's so wonderful to hear and know that they have that option to go back to the table, have a conversation, reassess where they are and what their needs are. So that's absolutely wonderful. Well, I really appreciate your time. Do you have a website or social media we can follow? But also, if any of our viewers are looking to get in touch with you regarding considering their needs, can you share that with me?
Yeah, absolutely. I have a profile on the New York Life website. That's www.newyorklife.com/agent/JAMEYER, And on Facebook, you can search for me as Julie A. Myer Agent, and that'll come up with my business page for Facebook. And you can also search me out on LinkedIn.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for sharing this important information with us. And I definitely look forward to having another conversation with you to kind of delve a little more into some of those options and how they can be utilized.
I
Thank
look
you
forward
so
to that too. It'll be great.
Absolutely. Well, thank you everyone for your time. I appreciate you viewing in. Again, this is the wonderful Julie Myer. Like us if you appreciate this content, and absolutely reach out to Julie. She is phenomenal and she will definitely help you put your mind at ease, especially during these unprecedented times. See you later. Have an amazing day.